Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with a question for you today. I'd like to know what was the best World of Warcraft expansion, or rather, what is it doesn't matter. What do you think the best World of Warcraft expansion is? So that's sort of a loaded question, right? I mean, how do we approach that? Are we talking about it on a personal level? Are we looking at it objectively in terms of which expansion had the most number of subscribers and where they added the most systems, and which expansion the community as a whole thought added the best systems? It's sort of tough to view it in that perspective, and that's not even how I was thinking about it. I'm more thinking on a personal level. So I suppose the question really should be, what was your favorite World of Warcraft expansion? Now, if you've been following my channel, I'm sure you'll be well aware of the fact that recently I decided to jump back into the World of Warcraft. This endeavor has been taking place over the course of about the past 3 weeks now, and when going through this process, I decided that I wanted to start a brand new character and level up and sort of re-experience WoW, be reintroduced to WoW, instead of just jumping right in with my level 80, or actually I had a couple of 85 characters as well. So when going through this process and going through all of the lands of Azeroth, starting from, the vanilla, although that all got transformed thanks to the Cataclysm expansion, but still there were many areas that brought back many memories. I mean, the zones are still more or less intact as to how they were in vanilla, with some exceptions, of course. But yes, going through vanilla and then leveling up and going through the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, and then coming through Cataclysm content, eventually into the position now where I'm back up to 85. I'm going through this experience and for the first time going through the Mist of Pandaria. So that entire process, it was certainly enjoyable for me, but it also was just so nostalgia-soaked, absolutely dripping with memories. Every moment of that experience for me that's been happening over the past few weeks has just brought back just floods of really good memories of this game. And that's why I wanted to post this question to you guys. And I think that it is, especially with a game like this is very much so a social game. I think it's really going to come down to which expansion people enjoyed the most with their friends, be it real-life friends who play World of Warcraft, or just the friends that they made within the game. Now, myself personally, especially the first few expansions, Vanilla, the Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the Lich King is where I spent a majority of my WoW career. I spent a little bit of time with Cataclysm, just leveling up, and I'm now just getting into Mist of Pandaria. So it's sort of hard for me to speak to the two most recent expansions, Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria. But even though, some may argue that Mist of Pandaria is, the best expansion, I've heard that touted around from some people. And you could argue that, by looking at the additions and the systems and the changes that they've made. I would argue that it really is completely personal because of the type of game that it is. And me personally, I feel like my favorite expansion was probably the first one. It was probably the Burning Crusade. I loved the zones, but I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that this is when I was in school, I was in college, finishing my time up there, and this was when a majority of my real-life friends were playing, and this is where I have the most memories from. And that's not to say that I think the Burning Crusade is better feature-wise than any of the other World of Warcraft expansions, but when it comes down to my personal experience, and I think that's how it's going to boil down for all of you guys, and please, the point of this video is to get that dialogue going. I want to know what you guys think, so please let me know which expansion that you feel you enjoyed the most, and why that is the case. And again, for me, it's rather simple, I believe. I really think it just boils down to, this is when most of my real-life friends were playing. This is when we really dove into raiding, and we really dove into arena PvP, and just that entire experience, that social aspect, made that the most enjoyable expansion for me. That was followed up by Wrath of the Lich King, and again, I can't really speak much to Cataclysm, and I'm not even really going to be able to speak much to Mist of Pandaria, because although I am still enjoying the game, the nostalgia train that kept pushing me forward is starting to die down, and really, most of my friends don't play this game anymore. In fact, I only have one close friend who's still playing WoW. He actually rejoined and decided to go through this nostalgia experience with me. And so, we're not playing nearly as much as we have been over the past few weeks. It's starting to die down. None of my other older friends are playing anymore. And for that reason, I doubt I am going to have many memories with Mist of Pandaria. I'm not even sure I'm going to play it much longer. But again, that's not necessarily because it's a bad expansion. It's just a matter of what my friends are doing, and I think that's probably the case for a lot of other people as well. So with all of that said, once again, I do think the Burning Crusade was probably my favorite expansion, and then we'd go to Vanilla as my second favorite expansion, which wasn't an expansion, but the original experience plus the Burning Crusade was probably my favorite time with this game, and that's all completely 100% personal. That is very, very subjective, and I'd like to know your subjective opinions as to which was the best World of Warcraft expansion. Please let me know in the comment section below. Once again, I am having a good time with this game. It is starting to wind down for me. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be continuing to play the World of Warcraft, but I've really, really, really enjoyed these past few weeks, and I think it's been a really fun time for me. And subbing once more for another $15, I think was totally worth it. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Can't wait to read your opinions in the comment section below. I'm sure this is going to get a huge, heated debate going, and that's a good thing. Talking, conversation, always good. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.